Have you ever heard of Bosnia and Herzegovina? For many, this small country in the heart of the Balkans is just an exotic destination with beautiful mountains and historic cities. But behind its enchanting landscapes and medieval charm lies a recent history filled with tragedies, divisions, and wounds that are far from healed. Imagine living in a place where memories of one of modern Europe's bloodiest conflicts are still fresh. A country where the lines between past and present blur, and where war memorials and cemeteries share space with vibrant cafes and bustling markets. Bosnia carries the weight of a devastating war that left thousands dead, millions displaced, and a legacy of mistrust among its own people. And that's just the beginning. Corruption, political tensions, and ethnic divisions continue to shape life in Bosnia. There are even rumors of hidden secrets buried in Yugoslav-era bunkers, and a web of corruption that reaches the highest levels of power. But Bosnia is much more than its dark history. In this video, we'll explore both sides of this fascinating country, from its stunning geography and rich cultural heritage to the controversies and challenges woven into its daily life. Get ready, because this journey will unveil a side of Bosnia and Herzegovina you never imagined. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country located in southeastern Europe in the Balkan region. Its strategic position between East and West has always made it a crossroads of cultures, religions, and, unfortunately, conflicts. Covering an area of about 51,200 square kilometers, the country is relatively small, but its geography is incredibly diverse and dramatic. Surrounded by mountains that seem to touch the sky, Bosnia is a paradise for nature lovers. The Dinaric Alps dominate much of the territory, creating breathtaking landscapes. Crystal-clear rivers, such as the Neretva and Dina, flow through the valleys, feeding lakes of surreal beauty. In the summer, these rivers become ideal spots for activities like rafting and kayaking. The capital, Sarajevo, is nestled in a valley surrounded by mountains, like a hidden gem. Often called the Jerusalem of Europe for its rich religious diversity, Sarajevo offers a unique experience. Within just a few minutes of walking, you can see Christian churches, mosques, and synagogues standing side by side. However, this coexistence has not always been peaceful. Although most of the country is mountainous, Bosnia and Herzegovina has a small stretch of coastline along the Adriatic Sea, just 20 kilometers, centered in the town of Neum. This is the country's only access to the sea and a popular summer getaway for locals seeking relief from the heat. The climate in Bosnia is as varied as its geography. In the mountainous areas, winters are harsh, with heavy snowfall turning the country into a haven for winter sports. Meanwhile, in the lower regions along river valleys, summers can be hot and dry, creating a striking contrast between the areas. However, this stunning geography is not just a blessing. During the war of the 1990s, the mountains and forests that now captivate tourists were sites of ambushes and intense fighting. Many of these areas still bear scars from that time, with landmines continuing to pose a real threat in remote regions. Despite these challenges, Bosnia and Herzegovina is a land of extraordinary natural beauty and geographic diversity, well worth exploring. Yet, as we will see, the weight of its history still lingers in many aspects of life. The history of Bosnia and Herzegovina is as complex as its mountainous geography. Since ancient times, this region has been a crossroads of cultures, religions, and empires, making it a true cultural mosaic, and unfortunately, a frequent stage for conflicts. The earliest traces of human occupation in Bosnia date back to the Stone Age, with communities living off hunting and gathering in its dense forests and fertile valleys. Later, the region was inhabited by the Illyrians, an indigenous Balkan people. Around the 1st century AD, the Roman Empire annexed the area, leaving behind a legacy of cities, roads, and aqueducts, remnants of which can still be seen scattered throughout the country. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Bosnia endured centuries of turmoil, caught between Slavic, Byzantine, and even Frankish kingdoms. However, during the Middle Ages, the Kingdom of Bosnia emerged as an independent entity. This kingdom, which flourished between the 12th and 15th centuries, was known for its religious tolerance, providing a haven for Catholics, Orthodox Christians, and Bogomils, a Christian sect considered heretical by the Church. This period of relative peace ended in the 15th century with the arrival of the Ottoman Empire. For over 400 years, Bosnia was part of this vast empire, and its culture was profoundly transformed. Islam spread, leaving an indelible mark on the country's architecture, traditions, and language. Many of the mosques and bazaars that attract tourists today were built during this period, as well as the iconic starry Most Old Bridge in Mostar, a symbol of both connection and division. Ottoman rule ended in the late 19th century when the Austro-Hungarian Empire annexed Bosnia. This transition brought modernization but also heightened tensions as religious and ethnic identities became increasingly politicized. The situation boiled over in 1914 when Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was assassinated in Sarajevo. This event, which sparked World War I, placed Bosnia at the center of one of history's most significant conflicts. After the war, Bosnia became part of the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, later known as Yugoslavia. For much of the 20th century, Bosnia was under the communist regime of Josip Broz Tito, who promoted a unified Yugoslav identity and kept ethnic tensions in check with an iron hand. However, after Tito's death in 1980 and the collapse of Yugoslavia in the 1990s, these tensions erupted into one of modern Europe's most brutal conflicts. From 1992 to 1995, Bosnia was ravaged by a devastating war involving Bosniak Muslims, Orthodox Serbs, and Catholic Croats. The Siege of Sarajevo, which lasted nearly 4 years, became one of the war's most harrowing symbols, leaving thousands dead and the city in ruins. Atrocities such as the Srebrenica massacre, where over 8,000 Muslim men and boys were killed, are remembered as some of the worst genocides of the 20th century. The war ended with the signing of the Dayton Agreement in 1995, but it left deep scars. The country was divided into two semi-autonomous entities: the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, predominantly Bosniak and Croat, and the Republika Srpska, predominantly Serb. This political structure still reflects ethnic divisions and complicates governance to this day. Despite these challenges, Bosnia and Herzegovina has been working to rebuild its identity and its future. Cities once destroyed by war now showcase a blend of memory and revival, with a younger generation striving to move beyond the past and create a new chapter for the country. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a place that feels straight out of a fairy tale, with its dramatic mountains, crystal-clear rivers, and historic cities that captivate everyone who visits. What truly makes tourism here special, however, is the contrast between its stunning beauty and the profound history the country carries. Every street, every bridge, and every market has a story to tell, often one of resilience and rebirth. Let's start with Sarajevo, the capital. Walking through its streets is like stepping back in time. The historic neighborhood of Baskarcija is a maze of narrow alleys filled with craft shops, coffee houses, and Ottoman-era mosques. The Gazi Hazrat Beg Mosque, built in the 16th century, is a stunning example of Islamic architecture, while the War Tunnel Museum provides a sobering glimpse into the siege of Sarajevo, when residents used an underground tunnel to escape the surrounded city. Don't miss visiting the bridge where Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, an event that changed the course of world history. Another must-see destination is Mostar, home to the iconic starry Most Old Bridge. Rebuilt after the war, it's not only a masterpiece of Ottoman engineering, but also a symbol of reconciliation. The city itself feels like a painting, with its stone houses and the Neretva River flowing below. For the adventurous, you can watch, or even join, the daring bridge divers, a local tradition for the brave at heart. But Bosnia and Herzegovina isn't just about cities and history. Its natural beauty is breathtaking. Una National Park, near the border with Croatia, is a paradise for river lovers, waterfall chasers, and outdoor enthusiasts. Strbaki Buk Waterfall is particularly spectacular, and the park offers opportunities for rafting, hiking, and picnicking amidst untouched scenery. Another gem is Sutjeska National Park, home to Europe's last primeval forest and Mount Maglik, the country's highest peak. And then there's the village of Blagaj, one of the most serene and photogenic places you'll ever find. Nestled at the edge of an emerald green river is an old dervish house built into the base of a towering cliff. It's the kind of place frozen in time, offering a sense of peace that's hard to put into words. Traveling through Bosnia and Herzegovina does, however, require some precautions. While many war-torn areas have been rebuilt, rural and mountainous regions can still contain landmines. For this reason, it's crucial to stick to marked trails, especially in less visited areas. The tourism infrastructure, though improving, isn't as developed as in neighboring countries like Croatia, so planning your logistics carefully, especially for more remote destinations, is essential. Another important consideration is sensitivity toward the country's recent history. Many locals still carry painful memories of the war, and it's important to show respect when visiting monuments and speaking with residents. Avoid taking photos of cemeteries and war memorials without permission, as it may be considered disrespectful. Despite these precautions, Bosnia and Herzegovina offers a truly unique travel experience. It's a place where you can hike mountains in the morning, explore medieval ruins in the afternoon, and end the day with a traditional coffee while listening to the stories of the locals. If you're looking for a destination that combines history, culture, and nature all in one, this country will exceed your expectations. The economy of Bosnia and Herzegovina is as full of contrast as its geography and history. After the devastation caused by the war in the 1990s, the country underwent a long and difficult economic recovery, marked by regional inequalities and structural challenges that persist to this day. Despite this, there are signs of progress, and some sectors continue to grow, offering hope for the future. One of the pillars of the economy is the industrial sector, particularly metal production, wood processing, and chemical manufacturing. Bosnia is rich in natural resources like coal, iron, and bauxite, which drive its mining and metallurgy industries. The energy sector is also significant, with hydropower production being a major contributor, supplying much of the country's energy needs and generating surpluses for export. Agriculture, while less developed, remains an important part of the economy, especially in rural areas. Small-scale farms produce fruits, vegetables, and grains, and Bosnia is renowned for its wines and traditional products like rakića, a popular regional brandy. However, the lack of investment in agricultural technology limits the sector's potential. Tourism, as previously mentioned, is one of the country's great hopes for economic growth. Bosnia and Herzegovina has been attracting more and more international visitors, creating jobs in hotels, restaurants, and tour agencies. However, tourism still faces obstacles, such as limited modern infrastructure and competition from neighboring countries like Croatia. The average monthly salary in Bosnia is approximately 1,100 Bosnian marks BM, equivalent to about $600. While this might seem reasonable compared to other countries in the region, the cost of living is still a burden for many families. For instance, renting an apartment in an urban area costs around 400 BAM, $220, while a simple meal at a restaurant costs about 15 BAM, $8. Public transportation is relatively affordable, but owning and maintaining a car can be expensive, especially with fuel prices averaging 2.50 BAM, $1.40 per liter. Corruption remains a significant obstacle to economic growth. From the highest levels of government to local business operations, reports of bribery, nepotism, and mismanagement are common. This not only undermines investor confidence, but also hampers access to basic services for the population. Still, not everything is negative. Integration with the European Union, though slow, offers opportunities for modernization and investment. Small local businesses and startups are also gaining momentum, especially in the technology and service sectors. Increasingly, young entrepreneurs are striving to reshape the economic landscape with innovation and determination. The economy of Bosnia and Herzegovina is a blend of challenges and potential. While significant obstacles remain, the country's spirit of resilience suggests that a brighter future is possible. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country rich in fascinating traditions, but it also carries deep wounds and faces social and political challenges that often go unnoticed by tourists. One of the most striking aspects of Bosnian life is its cultural diversity. The country is a true blend of ethnicities and religions, including Bosniak Muslims, Orthodox Serbs, and Catholic Croats. However, this coexistence is marked by underlying tensions that date back to the War of the 1990s. Bosnia's political system is a direct legacy of the Dayton Agreement, which ended the conflict. It created one of the most complex governments in the world, with a tripartite presidency, including representatives from each ethnic group. While this model has maintained peace, it has also made decision-making extremely slow and created fertile ground for widespread corruption. Local politicians often exploit ethnic identity to manipulate voters and maintain power, while the country's real issues, such as unemployment and poor infrastructure, are sidelined. Corruption in Bosnia is an endemic problem. Reports indicate that bribery and political favoritism are common practices at every level, from public tenders to university admissions. This rampant corruption discourages foreign investment and drives many young people to leave the country in search of a better future. Another contentious issue is the presence of landmines. Decades after the war, it's estimated that over 70,000 mines still remain scattered across rural and mountainous areas. They pose a constant danger to local communities and serve as a grim reminder of a past that refuses to fade. Amid these challenges, there are also stories of resilience and hope. Local and international organizations are working to clear landmines and rebuild devastated areas. Young artists and entrepreneurs are creating new forms of expression that transcend ethnic barriers, striving for a future where Bosnia is remembered for its culture and beauty rather than its painful history. Despite its problems, the Bosnian people are known for their hospitality and for keeping alive traditions that connect them to their history. Festivals, folk music, and the rich cuisine, a fusion of Ottoman and Balkan influences, serve as reminders that there is much more to Bosnia than its struggles. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country that defies expectations. It is a land of striking contrasts, where natural and cultural beauty coexist with a history filled with challenges. But it is this complexity that makes Bosnia's future so full of possibilities. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country defined by contrasts. Its breathtaking landscapes and rich cultural heritage intertwine with a history of conflict, scars, and challenges that still echo in the present. Yet, there is something undeniably special about the spirit of the Bosnian people, a spirit of resilience, renewal, and a quiet hope for better days ahead. Bosnia's history teaches us that even after the darkest moments, it is possible to start anew. The country still faces a long and challenging road, but the seeds of change are already being sown. And perhaps that's what makes Bosnia so fascinating. It is not just a place of memory, but also a land of possibilities. So, when you think of Bosnia and Herzegovina, don't focus solely on the scars of its past. See the beauty of its diversity, the strength of its people, and the promise of a future where its mountains, cities, and cultures shine even brighter.